Welcome, Noelle, to our discussion this afternoon. For those of you who are able to join us live, this is a prelude to our next virtual retreat for rescue dogs and their parents. And Noelle is the co-host of the event. And we just wanted to have a chat with you today about the impact of healing for you as a rescue dog parent and for your animal. So, Noelle, I'll pass that over to you to start.
Yes. So why is it so important to consider healing in part of your journey with your rescue dog? Coming from the Reiki practitioner perspective, because the energy we can shift from focusing on the challenges and I was about to say more negative aspects of having a rescue dog in the way that sometimes more than we bargained for. It could be as well that impacting your relationship and your life together, and either your dog's well-being or your own. So by focusing on to your energy levels, your positive energy levels, that will help create this safe environment for your dog, this calmer environment for your dog, so that they can really start to feel at home with you. The healing part can as well be approached from an awareness perspective. If you want to pause at the time you can foresee a challenge coming up, to stop, pause, and start to be aware of your own well-being, your own state of mind. At that time, I would suggest to just take a few deep breaths and slow down your breathing so that you get into that space when calm can really penetrate your body and as well shift your mind to this high stress, to some part of your brain that will function to think, assess, and respond instead of react. By doing that, you influence your dog who will respond to that because, as I said, the shift of energy, they will feel that. They will as well hear and sense your heartbeat slowing down in a good way. So that gives signal to your dog that it's not a moment to worry, that they may be able to start to get out of the high stress level they have in the brain. There may be hormones start to help level down because they will be able to tune into your own positive energy and to use that as a reference to say, okay, that's something I can refer to this human to keep me safe and to start maybe to discover this new world they are in with you. If you just have this rescue dog at home, or if it has been a while, it's just as well to shift this feeling they will have around where they are at, where they are in, and what response or reaction they think they need to show or to display because they feel very uncertain. By having this calm approach, because you will have that conscious or conscious way of approaching this, whatever you will do, it could be to go for a walk, to have visitors, to have maybe new events happening. You will have your dog thinking of they are able to rely on you because you show this calm and confident persona that they can rely on. They don't have to take on themselves to say, I need to safeguard myself. So healing, as I say, can be through the Reiki, for example, the healing energy modality that can help you. Very simple. You just lay down and the practitioner will channel the energy for you to get to the, I was to say the place that's need the most, but exactly that. It's the conscious energy that goes where you need it the most. Saying that, your dogs are very tuned into the surrounding energy by nature. So the Reiki is really something easy that they can tune into as well. And you can really share that moment. And definitely a different way of connecting together. So why it's important, as I say, for the healing energy to happen, that's because you can get rid of the past. You can, and as you get rid, processing it to address the lessons you may need to learn from that or what can be used for the future. And having as well you processing your own feelings and emotions, it's another way to bring healing for yourself because triggering situations on repeated basis will as well increase your own stress level and maybe deplete a bit your well-being because you will have this focus on your dog to help your dog the best you can, forgetting that you are as well part of the solution, an essential part of the solution. And you can have this time when you stop, think about the triggering situation, a stressful situation you are having with your dog, and maybe the most taxing feelings or emotions you may have at that time. Why not write it down? Think about it and write down things comes to mind when you think about that feeling you're experiencing at that time. From that, you can maybe let go of that taxing feeling to shift to something more positive because now you have processed what was related to that feeling, what was this feeling about, where these triggers may have come from. So by having this little process, it's another way to heal yourself and help your dog to get in that feeling of safety with you because you will have taken time. Time is essential with rescue dogs to really process those feelings, to help your dog with their own feelings and emotions. So I know that having to work both with the human and the dog makes such a difference in the way you progress, in the way you elevate your relationship together to really have this closer connection. And Annie, I like how you do as well the part of healing by having the dogs talking with you. So if you want to talk about how healing can happen by just listening to the dog perspective.
Okay, thank you. So for people watching who aren't aware, we can communicate with our animals. There's verbal communication that we can have with them. We can pick up what they're trying to tell us through their behaviour and body language. And we can also communicate with them telepathically, which is what I do, and ask questions. So as Noelle has said, our animals are very attuned to us, our health status and our moods, and they react and respond to that. And I know it can be very stressful and frustrating having a rescue dog because sometimes you don't know what they've experienced in the past and you don't know what they're still dealing with. So they may have experienced some physical trauma, but they may have also experienced emotional or psychological impacts with what happened to them. And those things are hidden. We can't see them as an animal parent, but our animal is dealing with those things all the time. And it's something that we can do to help them heal by having a conversation. And so the basic thing that you can do to help your animal, the easiest thing is to let them know verbally that you love them and that they're going to be safe with you. They don't have to move anywhere else. They're in their forever home. Our rescue animals just want the certainty and security of having a safe home and a home where they're loved. So if you can let them know verbally every day that you love them and you're grateful that they're with you and that they're safe and they're staying with you and you're not abandoning them, they understand every word that you say, and that will really help reduce their anxiety and stress. And that is the first thing that you can do to start helping them heal through conversations. So Noelle's talked about Reiki, which is an energetic form of healing that you can use with animals and humans. And animals are very sensitive to frequencies, so they do respond to that. And it can be done from a distance. You don't have to be in the room with a practitioner. It's incredible how it works. Conversations are similar. I can talk to animals that are around the other side of the world. I don't have to be physically with them, but they can hear me and they respond. And you will find, after you've listened to this video now, if you go and tell your animal that you love them, they may look at you in a different way. And it's fascinating that just having one conversation with them can change the dynamic between you and them. And they may look at you more attentively. They may show you more affection. They will appreciate you knowing that they understand what you're saying. Having a telepathic conversation with an animal, I can ask what they want to share about what they're dealing with now. Now, understandably, some animals don't want to go back and revisit the past and talk about what's actually happened to them. And I respect their boundaries. If they don't want to talk about that, I don't ask. I just find out what they're willing to share so that their humans can understand them. And then we can be more sensitive and more patient with them while they're on their healing journey. So sometimes they do show me images of what's happened to them, and sometimes they just talk about how the emotions that they've experienced are still affecting them now. And then we can work out what they need to be able to continue their healing journey. And it lets the parents know animals have good medical knowledge. They also have an idea on what healing modalities they'd like to use as well. So I can talk to them about Reiki. I can talk to them about all sorts of other different modalities and just see what they're open to so that they're not just stuck in whatever emotional turmoil they've been in for potentially years. And I've spoken to animals that are still holding on to emotional trauma from when they were just born. And it really does have an impact physically and emotionally on the animals. And for you as a parent looking after that animal, it can take a toll on you because you can see sometimes that they are struggling, but you don't know why. You don't know what's triggering them to exhibit bizarre behaviours. And your heart's just full of love for them. You want to help them and you don't know how. So having verbal conversations with them can help. Getting answers to your questions about them can help. And then learning how to talk to your animal can also help, because then you can have conversations whenever you want to. They can tell you what you want, what they want you to know, and you can tell them things, particularly if your animal seems to have separation anxiety. Some of the rescue animals have experienced an abandonment. And so when they see you walk out the door, they can worry that they're not going to see you again. Where are they going to go next? Who's going to look after them next? It can be incredibly stressful. So you can cut through a lot of that fear just by telling them where you're going, what you're doing, and when you'll be back. Then they've heard you saying what you're doing, and they've also had the reassurance that you've said that you're definitely coming back. That can really help them as well. So there's lots of different ways that we can help heal our animals, but it also helps heal us in the process. And there's a lot of things we actually learn through looking after a rescue animal. So a lot of people say that they've rescued the animal, but then I've had people tell me, no, my animal rescued me. And they have the insight to realize that through helping their animal through all the trauma, it's helping the human through some of their trauma as well. And sometimes it is our life purpose or part of our life lessons to help another being through a tough time in life. So we're helping them, and then we get rewarded from our animals with unconditional love and companionship, fun, all sorts of things behind the scenes. So it's definitely worth the effort to talk with your animal and to help support them as they go on their healing journey with you.
Yes. And I was about to say as the effect of healing as well can be immediate. Just this inner peace, you feeling more grounded and centered, and clearing your mind as well from all the stress or busyness. That's really open yourself and your mind to possibilities, to opportunities, and as well to see your dog differently. So the same as well, we talk about labels, about the dogs that sometimes are not useful. And having this healing, I think, helps you to see your dog differently. And the same, your dog will perceive you differently because, as Annie was saying, the frequency is different. Your vibration as well is turned to positive. So you will help your dog, you will help yourself, and you will help both of you at the same time by having that time. And as I say, it could be as simple as changing your energy by exercising with your focus on your breathing. It can be just writing exercise. So definitely writing because it needs to be embodied with your feelings to process them. And it can be simply words. So already you've got 3 ways you could start today to change the dynamic with your dog. And to help you with that as well, we are putting together an introductory retreat, which will be on demand. So that means you can have access on the platform that's called the Peaceful Paws retreat. And that will give you different elements you can start to improve your relationship with your dog, your perception of what's happening with your dog. Annie has the masterclass about what you could ask your dog. And I will have some activities as well to get you in that mindfulness state, to have you play with your dog, because the same as well in a stressful situation with our rescue dog, we often forget the play, which is very, very important because that's one way to really change frequency very easily, very fast. If you get in contact and reconnect with your inner child, for example, and let the fun begin with your dog, you will see that healing by itself. Do you want to talk about the masterclass included in the on-demand retreats, Annie?
Yes, thank you. There's lots of different things that we can ask our animals, but there's ways we can ask questions to get more information out of our animals. So a lot of people want to know if their animal is happy. And so if I ask, are you happy? That's a kind of yes, no answer, which really doesn't elicit a lot of useful information. But if I say, what can your humans do to make you happier? That's an open-ended question, and it then gives them scope to talk about lots of different things. And people might expect them to say more treats, more toys, more walks. But because our animals are so attuned to us and so aware of what's happening with us, this is where they have an opportunity to give us advice. And so if they know that we're too stressed at work, they will tell me and they'll say, Mum is really stressed. She needs to spend some time relaxing when she comes home. She needs to spend some time with me to de-stress, and she needs to do certain activities to help better manage her stress levels. So they're really acutely aware of our mood and what's happening with us. And as you said earlier, that can affect them as well because they're in the energy of us with those emotions. And so be aware that they will be giving you constructive advice, because as you heal yourself and make changes for yourself, that impacts on the energy you're radiating. That will affect your animal, and it will make them happier when you're healthier and happier. So in the masterclass, I go through a number of different scenarios with common questions that people want to ask, and just discuss different ways we can ask questions to get information that we want. Some people want to know what their soul connection is with their animal. And I've had a number of rescue dogs that have actually reincarnated as rescue dogs. And the animal parents can feel a strong bond with them, but they're not sure why. So we can actually find out, what are the soul connections? Have we had past lives in this lifetime before? Have we had lives together in past lives before? And for me, it's fascinating unraveling what that connection is. because so many people describe their dog to me as their soul dog or their heart dog or their soulmate dog. And so the language they're using shows at a subconscious level, they do understand that there is this really powerful bond, but consciously they don't know why. And so asking questions and getting information out is a really powerful way to understand your animal on a deeper level. And it really does change the relationship between you when you know more about them and you can do more to help you and to help them.
Yeah. Yeah, so this on-demand retreat is a stress relief for rescue dogs and their human parents. So this part of having the questions as well formulated the right way to get the most out of that will as well, I think it puts you in a different as well situation with your own rescue dog to see that you've got what we call the double-sided communication, but from my perspective, that's different. It's really related to canine body language and the behavior of the you observe of the dog. But having the words, specifically the words that they would have shared with you, Annie, I think that's another element and powerful element as well to bring to the table to help you to have the connection you want with your dog. And I love this idea having this different levels of connection, from having this connection with cuddles and affections and play to have them tune or have you both tune to each other to have this other level of connection related to the soul journey we having together at this time. And I'm really keen usually to learn about all those different possibilities of being with your dog differently but closely, and as well as what you said to improve, enhance your well-being together, and to have this life where you can both thrive. And yes, so this the retreat on demand, the Peaceful Paws retreat, that's about that as well, to have you start on that journey where you can go, a French word, when you can go towards the happy life you want to have with your dog, your rescue dog, which then may not be anymore rescue dog, but just your fur kid. And to have this, yes, life when you can do more together, relax together, enjoy simply being together. And I like the time as well when we can just discover each other, the personality of the dog, and how you can add to that as well. I love this part as well. So the retreat is just having you starting on that path of connection with your dog, and it's on demand. So the principle will be to go on this platform and having to go through the different modules, because I'm doing that on a course platform, which is easier access for you to choose the different activities, preferably in the order that will be organized, but it's mostly for you to choose it one day for yourself and for your dog, to have that time out of your routine to really get into that way of practicing things with your dog that you may not do on a regular basis, and to put you in that state to change your energy, to heal your past stressful situations, triggering events you had before with your dog, and to reset that to a life where you will be able both to grow together, to connect closer, and to be bonded in a different way that really enrich both your life. So yes, if you want to join us for this retreat on demand, just put in the comments of this live stream, and we will contact you with the details for you to go onto this page, where it's definitely giving you this stress relief process you can have anytime you want with your dog. From the time you do it once, you will have that in your toolbox to repeat that for yourself and for your dog. Oh yes, and I was about to say, this is available until the end of September, this retreat on demand. We put that in a restricted time. So like this, you take action to do it as soon as you can. It should be easy to fit in schedule because it's a setup with audio and videos. So you can really have this this time with your dog set up. I would say even half a day, you can do that on half a day to go through that to practice. And then when you have practice on board, you can reuse that anytime you want.
So I think it's a great opportunity with some easy to implement practices to help you and your dog start that journey of developing a deeper relationship. So this is an introductory retreat on demand, and we're going to be doing these lives every Saturday 3:30 p.m. Brisbane time for the next 6 weeks, building up to when we do our next virtual rescue dog retreat. So we'd love you to come and join us or watch the replays and find out more about how you and your animal can develop a stronger and more aware, a more conscious relationship.
And any questions, welcome. So if you want to post them in the comments, we were happy to answer them.
Okay, so thank you, Noelle, and we look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing your comments and receiving your questions and having you joining us next Saturday afternoon for our next session, which will be an introduction to telepathic animal communication. So see you next Saturday, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.